Alright guys, this is the last of the short series and showing off the changes. New Warren the Plaguelands patch. The other two videos we showed off Fiona's Caravan and the Death Knight wing changes. So if you want to check those out, head over there. Learn up. This is probably one of the biggest changes. Alongside those two and terrain, and I basically was collecting feedback from people on maps they like, or like what they liked about this map or that map, or what they didn't like about Warren the Plaguelands, whatever. And one piece of feedback that stuck out to me generally was lack of replayability. Basically, if you're in a lobby and you're gonna play, you basically, most factions play the same exact way every time. There's not a lot of like playing green differently. It's pretty much the same shit over. And there's a lack of I think uniqueness between the factions in the game. Like teal and yellow, while they are different, they are ballpark the same. Green and light blue, ballpark the same. I think there is uniqueness in like red and orange, and I think the West is a little more unique. But those are probably the two motivating factors for the change we're about to go through. So my solution to that is each faction getting a choice of a path choice in the beginning. So we implemented path choices for 6 factions, 3 on each side. What's up, Terp? And how that plays out is in the beginning, in this little outpost down here. And I'll show this off because we got Sewell was kind enough to raid us. Check this out, guys. You see this? We got Twitch emotes in the game, dude. We are out here, bro. That is. Yeah, I got a whole folder of them. There's like all sorts of anime emotes. Anyway, back to the video. So each faction, you get to choose one of 2 paths. There might even be a third path added that gives you a unique hero, a unique elite unit, and a unique regular unit. Like, I guess between elite and regular unit. And for regular factions, I think those elites will be capped out at 4 in the late game. So you spawn with 2, and they're not meant to supplant your regular elites. So you're going to keep your paladins. You're going to keep your death knights. These are like extra elites. And the unique units are not necessarily like game breaking or super powerful. They're just a little bit of flavor and a little bit more active than, say, a move click archers. So I'm just gonna roughly run through each of the paths. So for red, your paths are either Malor the Zealous, or I guess Silverhand Paladins or Scarlet Fanatics. So one is based off of Malor the Zealous, who gets a cool new model, same hero, and Sir Thomas. Ooh, what the fuck? Who did this? Why does he have Drunken Haze? Whatever. He has Drunken Haze. So I gotta change that. These heroes are too similar, but I think this is a copy-paste issue. That's hilarious, though. Low key, now I'm like, mate, let's Thomas a drunkard. Kind of sick. But anywho, the units are really what matters. Thank you for the follow, sir. The Silverhand path gets like regular kind of mounted paladins that have a bonus attack orb that costs no mana, rejuve. These are supposed to be like super footmen. They have crit strike and they have an ability that gives them bonus damage and health regen. This path is probably a little better, but we always have time to balance. Malo Zealous' path has the Scarlet Oracles have been reworked a little bit. New model, new sexy female model, and they actually get unit stasis light, mana shield, mana flare, and then this is, I'm not sure if this is too OP, but their elites, the Demetria bodyguards, also new sexy model, and they get like a really weak thunderclap, which is mostly meant to just slow attack rate and not movement speed and damage as much. Revive, and they don't get a rejuve actually, they get a holy light. So that's kind of the trade-off. Extra rejuve or like a little more damage and utility. Blue's a little simpler. They get the Silverhand path 2 with Tarzan. I think Tarzan's the same. Or Radley is the new one. So this unit's pretty cool, the Scarlet Tracker. This is their like unit or whatever. They're ranged against units, melee against heroes. They're supposed to have a, they're supposed to do like a melee attack too. I gotta work on that. And they have a unit net, so they can't net heroes, and they actually can increase their speed for a short period of time. And then their elites are pretty much just strong rangers. And I added this ability that I made for the 24 player, which is called Rapid Fire. Just deals a lot of damage in a short period of time. It looks cool. And then Radley, of course. Radley's rangers. That's blue and red. Hi, guys. And yellow is a little more interesting. Oh, I forgot to show it off. Oh, yeah. So what happens is when you click the button, it shows that you click the path, that you chose that path, and spawns your units, and then your units will spawn there. So red, it's there. Blue, it's there. And these spawns are tied to the base. So if you lose your base, you lose your spawns. Tough luck. Yellow has the Earthen Ring. Let's see what I actually wrote. The Earthen Ring, yeah. Or the Red Path family. So yellow's kind of unique because one of their paths are a bunch of demis. And this concept will probably be fleshed out in the future. But we'll do the Earthen Ring first. Rimblat, you know, he's a homie. Look at him. And then these units. So this Earthen Ring is kind of between a Silverhand Rider and a Super Footman, because they have this ability, Inner Strength, and they have the First Strike. I'll show you what the First Strike looks like. Basically, every 30 seconds, you get a really strong attack that looked really weak. These guys just have a lot of health. Should use it on someone weak. And then their elites are these like Tauren Shaman that have Purge, Spirit Link, and instead of an AoE heal, one of those like Spirit Statue heals. Thought I'd try that out. And then finally, for the good side, the Red Path family is the last path. And you get 3 demis. They don't revive. Maybe in the future they could become real heroes at level 10. But for the most part, they just are as they come. And the benefit to choosing the demis would be, hypothetically, you get 3 more shockwaves. Shockwave is fucking OP. She has a Shadow Strike, which is Stormbolt. You get an extra Stormbolt and a Holy Light, and you get auras, which you wouldn't normally get. So I think the demi path would be like if you wanted to be like an Uber Chad and maybe make some big plays in the beginning of the game, or kind of get to that late game with like 10 level 15 heroes. Because in the late game, they just become really strong units because they scale with like attributes and shit, and you can put items on them. So pink, and they get no spawns. That's the demi path. Now we're onto the Scourge. Pink also has a demi path, which is the Bara family, and it's very similar. It's a little different, but they have an AoE W, and I actually added the Drunken Haze with a fire combo. Thought that could be cool. Maybe we'll reskin it. Firebolt, Holy Light, and Mana Drain actually, which could be interesting. But again, you'd choose these guys for the auras. Same concept as the Red Path family. And they get kind of like a bonus unit, just because I thought it'd be cool, of this like ethereal servant that just has a heal. So they're basically fucking useless. But I thought it just feels thematically cool to have a bunch of ghosts of the Barrow family, because that's the whole point of it. And then their other path is Vectis. The Golemans, Necromancers are a little different than the 24 player. I'm trying to encourage. I gotta reduce the mana cost. I'm trying to encourage the use of Cripple more. So rather than a heal, you get Cripple. Dispel. Dispel is kind of a big deal though. Animate Dead. And then these guys are like really strong ranged units. They have slow. And flash damage. And Vectis. Oh, Vectis is actually a little different. He gets a better summon. That's an exciting change. Look. Oh no, I didn't change these two. That's a huge shame. Oh well. I'll show them off at the end. Orange gets a choice between Slaughterhouse Abominations and Kel'Thuzad's Banshees. Let's do the Abominations first. So the elites are just like from the 24 player, the Patchwork Titans. I'll probably rename. And then the unique units are like, I wanted to try giving them a really weak death coil that costs a lot of mana. So it would be like relatively inconsequential, but like maybe would matter in some like really fringe scenario. So they have their same abilities, and they're just supposed to be like a tanky unit. They were already pretty strong, these units. And obviously you don't start with them anymore unless you path. And maybe what we'll see is some skunk level player like rounding off a kill with like mass like 25 damage death core. I don't know. It can't be that OP just because you can't use it often. They basically add up to like a single death coil. But and then we ported Magistrate Bartholus. Oh, we get to show him off because I actually chose the path. He's pretty much the same. Thunderclap. Thunderclap's strong. And then Baroness Anastari. Guess we'll have to go through her last. I think she's changed a little bit. I did though. And her unique units are Banshee, which is like, I don't know, I guess Scourge just had some pretty strong units. Like you basically just start with like a more powerful version of like the last tier Banshee. And Possession is pretty strong. So it's like, it's kind of like a choice. Like, you want to choose Curse and Anti-Magic Shield and the ability to take over Red's units, which are like super valuable. But these guys are possibly the OP. I don't know. We'll see. They have AMS 2, but they have Charm, which is new. So we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, the trade-off is you don't get a bunch of tanky units in here. So you're, like, more vulnerable. That's the concept. So we'll see what people do with it. And then the final path is for Brown, which we went through in the Death Knight video. But, in case you didn't see that, I think it's also just noting. One path is not again. Our ally is under attack. Gothic the Harvester, who's like ranged. Give a ranged flavor. And Resuvius. I think they're formally called Death Knight Trainers under Resuvius, or Death Knight Adjuncts. Terrible names. Under Gothic Harvester. So, as we covered in the other video, Resuvius is more of a melee spec, and Gothic is more of a range spec. And those are all the paths. Let's see if I can show off. What do we do with Baroness? She pretty much the same. And the last little dude I wanted to show off, just because he's so happy looking, is this new abomination that that light blue will get to compensate for yellow getting so much. And that's this clown. He's not even like a path. He's just a gift. He's just a gift. Ooh, Death Harvesters. That's a great. He's a gift to light blue. For the power creep of the good guys. Yeah, okay. I mean, his design is basically supposed to be really big, deal like I guess an okay amount of damage because he has cleave, but mostly to like soak like ability targets. He has Devour and a non-dispellable like heal for just himself that takes 60 seconds. Those are the paths. One of the Plaguelands coming to a theater near you soon. If you're curious about some of the other changes, I think I'm putting out all these videos at the same time. So there's another video with Fiona's Caravan, another video with Death Knights. Much love, like, follow, subscribe, PewDiePie. Man, I'm fucking tired.